In the aftermath of the 2024 election, America is even more divided than before. Half the country fears the end of democracy, and the other half welcomes it. As America inches toward the brink of authoritarian rule, now more than ever, we must force ourselves to have the necessary conversation. Welcome to the Necessary Conversation. I'm Chad Colchin. With me is my mom and dad. Oh, God, Mom, you got a flag there. Is that for Memorial Day?
I'm trying to place it so we can all see it. There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
I guess we'll get into why you're holding that flag momentarily. My sister joins us this week. Welcome back.
Hello.
Hello.
What?
Hi.
Hi.
Are you okay? Where were you? What'd you do?
I went to Boston to help one of my former employees. She graduated from Boston University, and we had to pack her up and get her ready to move to New York City.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Was it successful? How are you doing? What's going on?
Yeah, it was a long trip with packing somebody's entire fucking existence.
Yep.
And getting her ready to move to another city was a lot. It was a lot. She needed help, so we went and helped her.
All right. Mom and Dad, how are you doing?
That's nice.
What?
We're doing fine. We're here. Happy Memorial Day. That's why I have my flag. You want me to talk about it
Starting
now?
off with a bang. Yeah, Mom, do you have a ditty?
Did you guys know that it's Memorial Day weekend?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Or care? Chad? Haley?
It doesn't affect me much. I don't really like holidays.
Yeah, I don't know. We're not open at the bakery ever on Mondays.
I'm working on Monday.
Me too.
Okay. Memorial Day is a federal holiday in the United States. It honors the military personnel who have died while saving your asses and serving our country. This is the reason that you have freedom in the United States. And it's for all the soldiers, men and women who have lost their lives for you, me and Dad. That's what Memorial Day is. And it's Monday. Yeah. But you guys don't celebrate it, right?
I mean, no, I'm not for war or military. It's tragic, anybody who's lost their life in any capacity, let alone in waging wars for the ultra-rich to maintain control over human society.
But you like your freedom, right?
Of course.
You like running your mouth.
You like your freedom.
I like running my mouth. By the way, like you guys don't run your mouths.
That's why we have freedoms.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we contributed to it. You didn't.
And if you guys don't want to,
what?
What?
We contributed to your freedom. You didn't.
I don't know. We have family members that did serve, but they didn't lose their lives while service. My father served. Dad's father served. Our uncles.
Dad himself.
But like I said, they didn't lose their lives. So I would like to honor the 13 at Abbey Gate that did lose their lives during the Biden-Harris administration that pulled down about Afghanistan in the worst history of the United States ever.
In the worst history of the United States. Worse than the Civil War?
In the whole administration of any president that has ever served. The way he pulled down Afghanistan.
That's worse than the Civil War in your mind.
Yes, it is. Yeah, the way he did it. Yes, it is.
Okay. Woo. All right. Well, we are starting off the bang then, I guess. All right. Do you have any other ditties?
Have you guys ever been to Washington? Have you guys ever been to DC?
Dad has.
And seen
I've been to
memorials and
DC
shit?
probably more than you have, honey buns.
Okay, I was gonna say, I think that you would enjoy it. I think that you would really enjoy DC.
There was nothing but
enjoy anything
maggots
anymore.
Sitting around saving space so they could play softball at 5:00.
What?
What are you talking about?
I've been to Washington D.C. more than you can count on your hands and feet.
Okay, I am just simply saying.
And I'm just simply saying Every time I went there, just a bunch of fucking deadbeats sitting around saving space so they could play their fucking softball games at 5 o'clock.
I've
But
been to
now
all the
Donald Trump's there.
memorials. I've been to all those memorials, and
So have I.
I've never considered myself patriotic. But like when you
Well, you're
stand
not.
there,
I don't
okay,
consider you patriotic either.
okay.
It,
Well,
it
I
just
think
is,
Mom would like it.
it's sad to me that you guys you're not patriotic to the country that you live in and we live
When
in.
it comes to D.C., Haley, you haven't been there near as much
All
as I have.
right. Okay, we're done with that
Well,
conversation.
she thinks she knows more than me about Washington, D.C.
No,
It's bullshit.
okay.
No one ever said that. Why do you hang on a
Nobody
minute,
said
Dad?
that.
Why do you wait,
Quit
Mom?
arguing.
Mom, hang
Oh,
on one
shut
second.
up.
Hang on a minute. Hang on. Can you guys hear me? What's going on over there? Now you're fighting?
No.
Dad, I want to ask you this question. You immediately took that to this confrontational, adversarial level that was
That's
like,
right.
she thinks she knows more than
Haley
me.
immediately took it to a confrontation, saying that, oh, well, I haven't been to D.C. enough to know anything about it.
I didn't
When's
say
the last
that.
time you went?
I've been there at least 10 or 15 times more than she has.
All
I
right.
simply asked, "Have you been to DC?" Because if you haven't, I think you'd enjoy it.
Okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
What I just don't understand why you guys don't have patriotism for a country that you live in.
Yeah.
Haley, tell me why.
I want universal
But
health
she's a
care. I
communist.
want reproductive health care. I want people not to be disappeared on the street. I want to be able to send my kids to school without being shot. Do you want me to keep going on? I want to be able to buy a house that's not $500,000. I could go on forever.
You can buy houses that aren't $500,000.
No, you can't.
Oh yes, you can. Oh my god.
In my suburb, like a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home right now is like almost $450,000. And
Well,
most
that's
people
less
can't afford
than
that.
$500,000.
But you have a home and you live in a nice house.
But not
And
everyone
you have
does.
food on your table. You can say anything you want to, which obvious you do. We've seen
The thing that
page.
you don't understand is that as a collective, human beings cannot afford to live in this country anymore. Human beings cannot afford health care. They cannot afford fucking
So
food.
how do 360 million of them live here?
In poverty.
Oh, they're in poverty.
Who's in poverty, Haley?
Nobody's in poverty.
Who's in poverty?
There are people I know directly that cannot live in a home without a roommate or two.
Well, they need to go and get a different job.
Dad, you said nobody's in poverty. You think
that's right?
In the world or in America?
In America.
So you think there is no one living in poverty in America?
Not that's not self-imposed.
Interesting. All right,
if you're broke living on the street in this country, it's because that's what you want to be.
All right.
No, I disagree. It's because
that's fine. You can disagree.
I think some of it has to do with like Biden didn't take care of our veterans. They didn't take care of people that needed help. FEMA embezzled all the money, didn't help people when disasters happened. That's what I think.
Donald Trump
FEMA
is doing
embezzled
that now.
The money. Yeah, Donald Trump's trying to dismantle it. All right, look, our show is already off the rails. Mom, do you have a ditty or not? Because we have to begin the show.
Begin the show, by all means. That my ditty was Happy Memorial Day weekend that you guys don't celebrate, but Dad and I sure do.
And that's fine. Happy Memorial Day to everybody who
And I'm saluting the 13 soldiers that died at Abbey Gate.
All right.
I just spoke to a lady at the bakery who has a daughter who's in the military, and they stationed her over in another country. And she expressed her daughter being embarrassed that she has to fight for the country that this has become. And there's a growing population in the military that absolutely detests the fact that they are fighting for the country that this has become.
That's why recruitment's up 100% from last year.
That's what I'm going to say. That's why Trump gave the speech.
That's why there's more people trying to get into the military than has been in decades.
I don't agree with that at all.
It's not true for starters.
Yeah, I don't agree with that at all.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on. We begin our program every week with a question from a listener. If you'd like to submit a question, just record it in a 1 minute or shorter video format and send it to the necessary conversation pod@gmail.com. Are you ready for the question?
Yeah.
Mom?
I'm
where are you
getting my
going?
notes. Yes, I had to get
Okay.
notes.
Ready?
I prepared.
As did I. Here we go.
Family, my name's Carter. I'm from South Dakota, and I'll keep it really simple. I just have a really quick question. Without talking about Biden, Obama, Trump, or any other political figure, just define communism, just so we got a baseline of what these accusations are. Thanks, guys.
All right. So there have been many accusations levied against me and Haley primarily by you, Dad, that we are communists. So we're going to start with you, Dad. What is communism?
Communism is where everybody gets paid the same or gets the same benefits as everybody else, regardless of what you do for a living. Regardless
True
of the
communism has no payment.
Do I get to finish, or are you just going to
Well,
talk?
I'm just going to correct you on a point that you were completely wrong on. That's all.
Okay.
No, I'm not. You're asking me what I think communism is.
Okay.
You don't
I'm saying
have a
you're
right or wrong here, mister.
You 100% do. But,
No, you don't.
Okay.
All right, well, I'm done. Hell, now you made me lose my train of thought, so there's no point in going on.
Oh, okay. Mom, what do you think communism is?
You communist.
Sorry, I interrupted.
All you
Your
gotta
in
do is
quotes
look in the fucking
definition.
mirror. Look in the fucking mirror, and you'll see a communist.
Okay.
I
Mom,
wish he wouldn't call you that because I don't
Why?
think you are communist.
I think they are
No, why? I don't understand.
because everything they believe is communism.
hang on a minute, Dad. Let me ask you this though. Before we get
No,
into
you're
Mom's
done
definition,
asking me.
I'm
You're
going to
done
ask it.
asking me.
No,
Okay.
You
I'm going to
get
ask you a
me
question.
one time, and then when you open your fucking pie hole and start interrupting me, you're done asking me.
Okay,
my
but
God,
you interrupt
Paul.
everybody. Whatever. I'm going to ask you this question. Why do you perceive communism as such a bad thing? And
Who
now
are
he's
you
silent
talking
treatment.
to?
Jesus Christ, a
Who
child.
are you talking to?
I was talking to Dad. But Mom,
Oh.
let's hear your definition of communism, and then I would like to hear why you think it's such a bad thing.
I think communism is like dictatorship, worse than socialism.
Mhm.
One person runs the whole shooting match and nobody has a say in anything.
But that's
That's what I
exactly
thought
what you want
communism
Trump
is.
to be able to do. You want
Yeah,
Trump to
that's
be able to
funny.
do that.
That's funny.
You guys
No,
have both said you want him to be a king. You have both said he shouldn't obey the Supreme Court. You
Not
want that for
communist.
Donald Trump.
No,
You want him to have unchecked power, don't you,
no.
Dad? Okay. So why is it such a bad thing then, Mom?
I never thought you and Haley were communists. I did
All right.
think you were socialists. You want to
Right.
give all the money that the rich people make to the poor, and
Correct.
you don't care if you have money or not because you think none of it is real.
Correct.
Is that true?
That is true.
You'll be the first fucking whiny baby when you run out of it.
Haley, what do you think communism is?
Close
I'm
to
looking it up.
socialism, but there's more control by the government. They have the final say in everything. There is no democracy.
But I'll just jump in and give my 2 cents on it. Obviously, it was a philosophical kind of political ideology started by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels in 1840 something, I think 1840s, 50s, somewhere around there is when he wrote the Communist Manifesto. It was meant to be an oppositional ideology to capitalism, because Marx saw that on a long enough timeline with capitalism, all the money would suck to the top and you would have a rich ruling class basically enslaving what he called the proletariat, the workers.
Why don't you, if you love it so much, why don't you move to Russia or China? Both of
Because they don't, this is the problem with
you. Get your
communism.
ass out here.
In its implementation, because all governments globally are corrupt.
Oh, I see.
Now who's interrupting who?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I have to. It's the only way I get to talk.
Yes.
At any rate, it's communism is kind of like,
whenever he's wrong or pushed back on him, he laughs.
what wrong? What am I wrong about? Everything I've said is factual.
I
What
think
am I wrong about,
communist
Dad?
is everybody doesn't have no money. no one has money. It's all
That's right.
controlled by the
In
government.
true communism, in like the ultimate version of it, money doesn't exist.
Right.
You just get what you need from the governmental system. You give in as much as you can, and you take out
You know
only
what?
what you need.
I think
We're talking
Dad
about food,
should
shelter, clothing, those types of things.
Dad shouldn't call you communist. He needs to be calling you. You're all more woke.
They're communists.
They're
Okay.
not communists.
And socialism is kind of like a step toward
And
communism.
until you and Haley move to a communist country, you have zero credibility with me.
I just
Zero.
don't see the point in people suffering and wanting people to suffer. That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, there's too many fucking people for starters.
But why do any of us have to suffer? Dad?
Huh?
Why do you think any people have to suffer?
Because there's too many of them.
But none of us have to suffer. There is enough resource on this
No,
planet.
they need to die.
Death, suffering, whatever. Why do you think that? Why can't everyone live a better version
Because
of life?
it is a fact of
Please
life
quit
that there are
yelling.
too many fucking people on this planet.
I
But
think
that's
the
not true.
vaccine.
And they've got to be eliminated.
I think the vaccine was trying to take us all down. I do believe that was
and
government.
I think you better start with the communist countries.
I do believe that the vaccine was here to take away some of us and make us die. I really do.
Okay,
Now
so
they're
Dad,
coming out saying that the people that had that with a super cancer
Yeah.
now, and a lot of people that had that. Have you read about that?
not yet. Let me ask you, Dad, real
Well,
quick.
that's a fact he doesn't want to look at.
No, I want to follow this line of logic that you were talking about, Dad. We need to start with the communist countries. That's where you want to see people dying. Yet,
That's right.
on this very podcast, almost universally, you support Russia in the Ukrainian war right now. They are a giant communist country. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, do I not know that?
I don't know. You support them,
Nice.
but here you're telling me you're against communism. So I'm just a little confused. Can you clear that up?
It depends. See, you conflict the two stories. Communism has nothing to do with overpopulation in the world.
Okay.
But the two most overpopulated countries in the world are India and China. So they've got to eliminate their fucking population. The only way to do that is starve their fucking ass or kill them.
Okay. But you're avoiding the question. You say you're
No,
against.
I'm not.
Yes, you are. I'm going to very clearly state this question, and then you can answer it. You say you're against communist countries, yet you support Russia in the war against a democracy.
I'm not against communist countries when it comes to being on our side, and Russia is trying to eliminate population.
Okay. Well, then if you're not against communists when they're on our side,
That's right.
me and Haley, who you believe are communists, are in your family. It doesn't get much more on your side. So why are you against us?
No, you're not on my side at all.
He's thinking
You can't get more off my side than you two.
he's not
All right.
thinking you're communist. He says that. I
You're
think
communist.
he's thinking, no, you're
You
woke.
need to live in China.
All right.
Woke.
Let's move on to our first topic today. It's the big, beautiful bill. This week, the U.S. House of Representatives narrowly passed Donald Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill Act with a 215 to 214 vote. The bill aims to permanently extend the 2017 tax cuts for the wealthy, maintaining the 37% top tax rate and increasing the estate tax exemption, allowing couples to pass up to $30 million tax-free to their heirs. It also increases the deduction for pass-through entities from 20 to 23%, benefiting wealthy family offices. In March, Trump said, "In the near future, I want to do what has not been done in 24 years. Balance the federal budget. We're going to balance it." However,
Make it funny.
That ain't funny.
It's pretty funny.
However, the bill will increase the federal deficit by $3.8 trillion over the next decade. To offset less than half of that increase, the bill proposes $1.5 trillion in spending cuts, primarily targeting Medicaid and other social programs. The Congressional Budget Office estimates that these cuts would result in 10.3 million people losing their Medicaid coverage by 2034. The legislation now advances to the Senate, where it is anticipated to face further debate and potential revisions. Mom,
Medicaid coverage.
What?
do you think it's fair that people making over $500,000 a year get an extended tax cut while 10 million people are going to be kicked off their health insurance?
Yes.
I don't think it's going to happen that way. Even though that first bill passed that way, there's still a lot of discussion about it.
That's in the bill.
It's Medicaid.
I know, but it's only
It's
passed
not
by.
Medicare, it's Medicaid.
Yeah, That's correct.
Yeah. I just think they all deserve to be punished.
So anybody
What?
who's on Medicaid, you think doesn't need health insurance or shouldn't have it?
They need health
They
insurance.
need a job is what they need.
They need health insurance. Everybody needs health insurance.
They
We've
need
been
a
over
fucking
this.
job.
Everybody needs to have health care. We've been over
There
this.
used to be a day back in the 50s and 60s where you had local people take care of Social Security. So you had to go live in a home for people that didn't have enough money for a house. And if there was a job to be had, they made you take it.
Okay.
And then you got off of Medicaid.
You know what that's called?
That went away. That went away
Right.
when the federal government took it over.
Are you talking about employment?
No, I'm talking about Social Security and Medicaid and all that. They used to have a home. There was one in Barton County where you had to go live, and if there was a job that came up, they made you go work.
I did not
And
know
you're
this.
for that. You would like to return to that?
Well, it's more controlled than having the federal government doling out money to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that doesn't work.
Who do you think pays for that house that these people live in?
The house,
Yeah.
the people in the county that you live in.
From
County and
taxes.
state.
That's socialism.
From property
What
tax.
you're describing is socialism.
From property tax. No, it's not socialism.
Yes, it is.
The amount of people that live in that house. See, socialism is 100% inclusive. Everybody gets the same. When you're looking at Social
not true.
Security and Medicaid for a Social Security home in a county, that's less than 2% of the people that live in that area.
Mhm.
So you're wrong. That has nothing to do with what you're talking about. You're trying to describe something you don't know. You're
That's
asked from a hole in
But
the
you
ground.
don't understand. That's not what socialism is. Socialism is we all pay into the pot the same, or whatever our percentage is based on tax brackets and whatever.
100%.
And then you.
It's 100% you pay into the pot.
That's
That's
not
socialism.
true. No, that's not. That's
No,
communism.
it isn't true. It isn't
All right.
true.
Let me ask you this,
Blow it.
Dad. Donald Trump promised to balance the federal deficit, balance the budget. Do
He
you
will.
think adding $3.8 trillion to the deficit is balancing the budget?
It will be.
How?
So we'll make more money off tariffs.
He'll find it. Yeah, he'll find it somewhere
You think
else.
we're going to make $3.8 trillion off tariffs?
Yes, we will.
Maybe he'll find it
So
somewhere else.
also, you don't quite understand. The
Start
people
with
who
the
pay the
fucking
tariffs
what
are
do
the
you mean
American
I don't
businesses.
quite understand. You're sitting here trying to talk economics to a person who put them to massive use and made a lot of money on it.
Okay.
Okay, then explain this to me.
It explains to me that you don't know one fucking thing about economics.
That doesn't
Not
explain it. That doesn't explain
Okay.
anything. Explain
Don't
to
need
me.
to explain to you. You're a communist.
Explain to me how
Please.
adding $3.8 trillion to the deficit is balancing the budget. Hello? This is what you do when you know you're defeated in an
No,
argument.
it's not true.
Yeah, it is.
It's what I do when
Then explain
talking
it.
common sense to you means nothing.
Please talk common sense to me. How
I
is
just
adding?
did.
You
and
didn't.
you blow right over it.
You
I
did
don't
not
know.
explain to me how adding
Blow-
3.8 trillion.
No, I didn't explain to you to your satisfaction.
You didn't explain to me at
Because
all.
because you're fucking ignorant.
All right, Mom, let me ask you. How is adding $3.8 trillion to the deficit balancing the budget?
It's not. But like I said, I think he would find it somewhere else to help balance that back out.
Right, 1.5 trillion cuts to
What,
Medicaid
Dad?
and social programs.
What Dad was talking about earlier, I didn't know those houses existed or whatever, but they must
Yeah.
have been before I was born or when I was a little
No, they
girl
were in the 60s.
in the 60s. But I do remember this. If there were people without jobs in the little town
Yeah.
that we lived, and if you didn't have a job, you had to go out to 4 or 5 different places each week, and they had to sign that you were there looking for employment. The minute one of those popped open, you took the job. I do remember that. That's not happening now with employment and people getting back to work so that they do have insurance. They do have health care.
But
I
none
think
of
some
that-
people just want to sit at home now and let the government take care of them and not go out and work. I happen to know this too. There are younger, I have a very young friend. I love her to pieces. And then I have some other younger friends that used to be back in Dallas, Houston with us where we lived. They, not the one here, the ones back there, they don't want to get married, because if they get married, then they don't get full benefits both ways with the person they're not marrying, themselves and the baby.
Mm-hmm.
So people now, they don't want to get married because they don't get the government funds. That's not the America that we grew up in.
You're talking about healthcare? Can you imagine a universal system in America where everybody is covered for everything always?
No.
Why?
Never going to happen.
I don't think it'll happen. Yeah, no.
It's every other first
It
world country
should.
in the world has that system, except us, because we're so profit driven.
No, if you have a job with a good company, you should have health insurance and all kinds of.
Guess what? We
What?
have
So the 1 million,
health
so the 1
insurance.
million people, 1 million people that the Chinese exterminated, they're all covered under health insurance.
So we have health insurance through a good job, and it's supposedly good insurance. We have to pay $7,000 out of pocket before it even kicks in.
Wow.
7,000 for what?
Deductible.
For what though? A hospital
Well, the way
stay
you
and
go through
operation?
the
Until it
money,
kicks in for anything.
that's a spit in the bucket.
Like
We
a
get
hospital?
we get annual checkups that are,
Yes.
part of our insurance, which is great because there's 5 of us. But if I go in for like a procedure, if I go in for anything, it's out of pocket until we meet that fucking deductible. And that's a lot of people in America, and that's a lot of fucking money that people don't just have. So it helps us if I get like fucking cancer, but if I just need to go in for routine shit or checkups or things that aren't huge, that's a lot of money out of pocket. And that is with healthcare. That is with insurance.
With deductibles like that, can't you pay more for your premium and then you don't have that high of a deductible? It'll be lower.
Correct, but it's still fucking money out of your paycheck every month, or it's an upfront cost when you go to the doctor. Either way, healthcare in America is fucking shit. You know that.
Well,
you know that it's shit.
When your
Ours
dad
fine.
worked, we had pretty good health insurance. We had Blue Cross Blue
We had
Shield.
damn
We
good health
had
insurance.
what was each time he would switch a job, the health insurance always changed with a company that he worked for. But we really had pretty good health insurance, Haley. We really
Always
did.
did.
It's not that way anymore.
All right, let's move on. Speaking of cancer, our next topic is Biden's cancer. This week, Joe Biden announced that he has been diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer that has metastasized to his bones. Trump expressed sympathy, stating, "Melania and I are saddened to hear about Joe Biden's recent medical diagnosis. We extend our warmest and best wishes to Jill and the family, and we wish Joe a fast and successful recovery."
Okay, that's
However-
kind of Palpatine. That's a little Palpatine as well. Okay.
I'm going to have to start trying to do Trump because you're no good.
Yeah, please. However, some Republicans have raised questions regarding the timing of the diagnosis. Vice President J.D. Vance suggested that Biden's advisors might have concealed his condition, stating, "This is not child's play, and we can pray for good health, but also recognize that if you're not in good enough health to do the job, you shouldn't be doing the job." Heads up to J.D. Vance, he's not currently doing the job. Biden's office has denied allegations of a cover-up, clarifying that his last known prostate-specific cancer screening was over a decade ago and that the cancer was not diagnosed prior to last week. Dad, do you think Joe Biden's cancer was a cover-up?
Yes.
Care to elaborate?
No.
A cover-up for what?
No, do you think they covered up
They were
the
covering up
diagnosis?
the fact that he had cancer.
Do you think he had cancer the whole time he was president and they were
Yes.
lying to people about it? You do think
100%.
that? Why do you think that?
Because you don't get stage 4 in a month.
Uh-huh. But he could have had it and not known. Like, do you think they knew he had cancer when he was
yeah,
president?
they knew.
Okay.
Fucker's falling down everywhere, shitting his pants overnight.
That probably has nothing to do with prostate cancer, but Maul,
Yeah, it
do you
does.
think that they knew about his cancer earlier
He's
than...
got butthole cancer too.
This is all linked together. The autopin, the cancer, his mental decline, it's all linked together. It's a
Okay.
bunch of lies. Now, the cancer that they came out and said he had stage 4, they also said it's hormone sensitive, which there were 3 experts I saw on TV, and then I read up about it. That means that his cancer has responded to a treatment of doing this to where the testosterone goes way down. For a person to know that it responds that way, he would have had to be having treatment at least, they said 3 to 4 months, probably a year.
Mm-hmm.
Then to have stage 4, they're saying he probably had it at the time that he became president.
Okay.
So all of that is a lie. The inner circle of people around him that has protected him and lied to all of us, none of those people will ever hold office, I do not believe. Let's say like Buttigieg. Let's say he might want to run
holds
for
office.
president next time around.
He was transportation secretary.
Right. He was secretary within part of the Biden regiment. Let's say he wants to run for president next. It's not going to work. He knew about his decline, his mental decline. He shut it up and told no one about it. There are a lot of people real close to him like that knew that. I feel they should all go to jail. They should really, it's being investigated now. A man to get prostate cancer, they have a test called a PSA. Your dad has had one every year of his life. It's a blood test. It's no big deal. When you go to your urologist for a checkup, or even your yearly checkup with your family doctor, they draw blood. They take a small amount of that for your PSA test. He had to have one of those upon entering his presidency last time.
And you don't think that cancer can grow that quickly?
No.
Well, you're wrong about that. The cancer I had went from being something that was like the size of a zit on my face
Didn't have what he had.
Go ahead,
to the
Chad.
size of a grape, essentially, in about a week and a half. This thing on my lip just started expanding under the skin, and I was like, what the fuck is this? They cut it out. It came back literally within days. It was once again 3 spots that were like as big as peas in 48 hours, maybe.
And you're trying to equate your cancer to his.
I'm trying to tell you, cancer can grow.
They're completely different cancers.
Okay. As somebody who's read anything about cancer, let me explain this to you. Every single case of cancer is completely different. You can have the same type of cancer or a different type of cancer, somebody else, and your specific case can grow rapidly, slowly, et cetera, et cetera. There are outliers on all kinds of cancers that can grow super fast. It's circumstance. Nobody really knows why. Some cancers take off, some don't. His could have grown incredibly fast. That's totally possible.
Let's hope it does.
Well, that was my next question. Do you want him to die a painful death, Dad?
No.
Yes.
No.
He sold us out to the Chinese.
That's rude.
Okay.
So he needs whatever he's got coming. I hope he gets it.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, we're going to get to who's selling who out and who's making money off people a little bit later. But let's move on to...
The part of that, Chad, though, that gets me is that hormone sensitive thing. They said that if they're just speaking that he does have the kind that they can treat that way, they've known about it for months. They knew about it when he was president.
Maybe. You don't know what his specific cancer was like. You don't know how quick it grew. You don't know what testing.
When he croaks.
All right. Let's, we've gotten heated up. My dad is on one today. I thought today for a simmer down, each of us could go around and, Dad, I want you to participate. Please, I'm begging you. I want each one of us to just sing a few lines from our favorite song, whatever it may be. Haley?
Why you always got to make me go first? I don't even know.
Because you're a good sport about it, and I know maybe if you do it and we do it and we are all having some fun, maybe Dad will join in. Unlikely, but...
already got my song.
He's ready.
What?
Yeah.
Dad, do you want to kick it off?
Fuck.
Sure.
Yes.
Yes! Okay, let's hear it. Belt it out.
Okay.
Look at his face.
My favorite song,
Yeah.
Fly to the Phoenix, has no words.
We'll hum the tune.
Sing the song you were going to sing.
Well, I can't without the music going.
No, you can.
I can't either.
I've been to the desert.
No, that ain't.
Oh, that's a great song.
What were you going to sing?
Fly to the Phoenix. There are no words.
So
hum it then. Do some diddle-diddle-dees.
That's my favorite song. I can't help it.
Come on, sing your second favorite song then.
I don't have a second favorite song.
Okay, he was going to sing this one.
Mom was trying to get me to sing this other song.
He was under anesthetic once for a left knee that he had no ACL. They were trying to repair it. He gets in the recovery room. I walk in. He's singing to the nurses this song as they're laughing. And I've been to the desert with on a horse with no name.
America.
It feels good
Yeah,
to get out of the rain.
And in the desert, you can't remember the name. Yeah, he was singing that to nurses on a Thanksgiving.
Mama proxy me.
Okay.
But you won't sing it now?
No, that's not my song.
Okay.
You said my favorite song. My favorite song is Flight of the Phoenix. They actually played it at Haley's wedding.
All right. Mom, do you want to sing a song?
You shouldn't have unleashed me. I've often dreamed of a far-off place where a hero's welcome will be waiting for me. Carry on, my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done.
Lay your weary head
to rest. Don't you cry no more.
Hairy head, it's weary.
I said weary. That song I had playing when Max went to heaven.
Okay.
If a picture paints 1,000 words, then why can't I paint you? That was Brad.
This is a medley.
You are so beautiful to me. Can't you see? You're everything I've hoped for. You're everything to me. You are so beautiful to me.
You've driven down.
That was Joe. Oh God, he's going to tip everything over. Jesus Christ. That was Joe Cocker. That was Joe Cocker, by the way.
Okay.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you. 'Cause I'm dreaming of you tonight.
You like Selena?
Till tomorrow, I'll be holding you tight. And there's nowhere else that I would rather be than here in my room, dreaming about you and me. It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can easily hide. I don't have much money, but boy, if I did, I'd buy a big house where we both could live. I thought I had one more.
I mean, you've done a lot already.
I am a man who will fight for
your
honor. I'll be the hero that you're dreaming of. We'll live forever, knowing together that we did it all for the glory of love.
Okay.
All this
Haley.
time
I have a question.
Thank you.
I have a question for the two communists.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Are you both willing to give up where you live to live in a smaller apartment?
Yeah.
So that everybody can have a smaller apartment and not a house?
100%. 100%. Hang on. We're still in the simmer down, Dad, and you're bringing in politics.
You're both liars.
That's a strike on you.
I thought all this time your favorite song was Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
I do like that one. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. I like to Ain't No Valley, Ain't No River.
Okay. I didn't realize this was going to be like a 20-minute solo here. We got to get to Haley. What's your song?
This is I don't know if I have a favorite song. Well, I had like a lot of songs.
Just sing one. Any song. Sing any song.
Sing me a song.
I love Journey. All right. I love Journey. We'll go with Journey.
I had that one down too.
Which one? Highway Run. into the midnight
Night
sun.
sun.
Wheels go round and round, you're on my mind.
You don't know the
Restless hearts sleep alone tonight. Wondering where I am, lost without you.
Without you. But yeah, I like that one.
All right. I'll do 2 then, since Mom did 100. First is, see if you can guess it. We don't need another hero. We
Beyond
don't
Thunder.
need to know the way home.
I know that
All
one.
we want is life beyond the Thunderdome.
Thunderdome.
And there used to be a green tower alone on the sea. You became a light on the dark side of me. Love
wait.
remains
That's
a
Seal.
drug,
I got
not
more.
the cure. Dun, dun,
I got more.
dun.
I got it.
Yeah. Come on, join
My
in.
favorite-
Yeah.
my-
Yeah.
In the air tonight, Phil
Yeah.
Collins.
Join in with me. Yeah. Dad,
All we are is
Dad, we're not stopping this until Dad joins in.
all we are is
You
Maybe
won't
we
join in
should-
with us, Dad?
We should have had the real song queued up, I think.
All right, let's move
Wait,
on.
Haley had one more.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I just like In the Air Tonight, Phil Collins, and In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel.
I can
In
feel
your
it
eyes.
coming
How about
in
all
the
we are
air.
is
tonight.
All right,
Oh,
Dad.
Lord.
How about all we are is dust in the wind?
Oh, I love that song. Take
All we
my
are is-
hand. Nothing lasts forever but the earth and sky. It slips
Blackbirds singing in the dead of
away.
night.
And all
Take
your
me
money
tonight
won't
away,
another minute
make
by.
my- all
Dust
your
Dust in
in
the
the wind.
You have
wind.
been waiting for this moment in your life. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. You know that song, Chad?
Yeah.
I do. All right, let's move on. That's is it Beatles or just Paul McCartney?
That's Beatles.
That was Beatles.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to our next topic. Follow the money. This week, Trump hosted an exclusive black tie dinner at his Virginia Golf Club for the top 220 investors in his personal meme coin crypto scam. Some attendees reportedly spent over $1 million to secure their invitations. Notably, crypto billionaire Justin Sun, who invested more than $40 million in the Trump coin, received a $100,000 Trump-branded watch as a gift during the event. The dinner featured Trump arriving via helicopter and delivering a brief 25-minute speech that touched on cryptocurrency's growing importance. Despite the event's lavish setting, some attendees they expressed disappointment over the quality of the food and limited interaction with the president. Since Trump began his second term in January 2025, his private clubs, Mar-a-Lago and Bedminster, have seen significant financial gains. Mar-a-Lago's profits have quadrupled since Trump's presidency took place, his second iteration, likely due to Trump raising the membership fee from $200,000 to $1 million in recent months. Bedminster, too, has seen an increase in the membership fee to $125,000, fueling the most profitable 3-month period in the club's history. And since the election in November 2024, Trump's net worth has more than doubled, with estimates ranging from $5.1 billion to $5.4 billion, up from approximately $2.3 billion in 2024. Mom, do you acknowledge that Trump is profiting from being the president?
He's a businessman. What he does on his own like that, so be it.
Okay. Dad, do you acknowledge that he is profiting from the presidency?
It's called capitalism.
But you know, every president prior to this has sold their stake in whatever personal businesses they might have had.
No, that's not true. They put it in a trust and it sits there.
Right.
They don't sell it. Nobody sold anything.
But they're not actively engaged.
Biden didn't sell anything.
They're not actively engaged.
All he sold was our country to the Chinese.
They're not actively engaged in those businesses holding.
Neither is he.
What the hell are you talking about? He's selling
There's
the meme
trust.
coin. He just showed up at a private dinner for the people who have given him the most money. How
There
is he
you
not?
are.
How is he not involved in that personally?
I didn't say he was involved. I said he wasn't selling anything.
He's selling meme coin.
No, he isn't.
Yeah, he was.
He
No,
literally
he's
is.
not.
You
His
guys have.
trust is.
His trust is, yeah.
You misinterpret everything.
How do you misinterpret this, Dad? He showed up in a helicopter to the
Yeah.
event that people paid money to see him.
Yeah, it's good for him.
He's selling that event through
Good
the
for
meme
him.
coin.
I agree with it.
You
Sell
guys
some
have
more.
on your kitchen table right back there shoes,
more.
cologne, a teddy bear, a Bible. He's selling everything. What
We
are you
bought
talking
all
about?
that before he was president.
What's that?
We bought every bit of that before he was president.
Okay.
So,
Haley, what do you
bad
think
example.
of this? What do you think of him just completely in the open, pay to play? Whoever gives me the most money gets to spend time with me and have my ear.
It's not a surprise. He's a reality star. It's not a surprise. He's pimping himself out to make money. He always has, always will. That's how he's in office now. Mom and dad bought his bullshit.
Yeah.
He's always been selling himself. That's what he does. He's a reality TV star. That's what he's always done.
We
He
like
doesn't give a fuck about any of us. He is still operating his businesses.
Needs to
He's
do
profiting. What did you say? He's doubled his worth since
Yeah.
being elected president.
The second time around, yeah.
Like, what the fuck? He's a crook.
Yeah, I totally agree. Dad, do you think that people who can afford to be members at his club or buy millions of dollars worth of his cryptocurrency should have special access to him above regular citizens?
Oh, absolutely.
So you want an oligarchy,
I want him to run the show.
but you're open to the
You can
idea.
call it whatever you want.
Well,
Yeah,
it's not
there's
what
no-
I want.
there's
It's
no
what
one
it
better.
is.
You can call it whatever you want. He's going to get this country straightened out.
There's no one better to do what he's doing right
But
now.
do you not see like the problem with him
I
having
see
What?
with my
Dad,
eyes open.
what you're doing
I
right
don't
now,
have to
what you're
listen
doing
to
right
you.
now is what you just accused me of doing early in the
Let's
show.
shut up.
Completely
Yeah,
interrupting.
I have to do this or I don't get to talk.
Oh,
That's not correct.
We can do 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll be number 1. I'll be number 2.
The question I'm trying to ask here is, do you see a problem with a president allowing ultra rich people to buy access to him?
No,
You see no problem with it whatsoever.
none.
Don't you think that he's going to be far more likely to adjust policy and write
Not
executive
Donald
orders?
Trump. Maybe some
Let me
lightweight
speak.
would.
Let me speak. You
Okay, go ahead.
You cannot complain about getting interrupted when you do it to everybody literally every time.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
He is now more likely to write policy and produce executive orders that will help these rich people that are paying him money than he is likely to do that for anyone else, including poor people, including the people who need government help the most. He's far more likely to help out his rich friends that are paying him. Dude paid $40 million buying his cryptocurrency. Hello?
I don't think that will influence him to do things.
It already
just-
is the big, beautiful bill. It's tax cuts for those people at the cost of 10 million poor people losing their health insurance.
You know what you need to do? Work harder, make more money so you're one of those rich people. That's called capitalism.
I don't believe it is. I mean, I don't believe
You're being outworked by somebody.
Do you think everybody in America could make that kind of money and get that kind of access?
I think more people can become multimillionaires than they are now.
What about all the dinners and all the plates that people pay like thousands of dollars to go to these?
Those
the
are political fundraisers. I don't agree with that either, by the way. Those are political
That's kind
fundraisers.
of what this is. I mean, it's been going on forever.
No.
No,
Those political fundraisers have money that go into their campaign funds. So there are laws around how that money can be used. It will have to be used for campaigns or political purposes.
Well, if
this
it's really
is people,
bad,
hang on, Mom.
Okay.
This is people paying Donald Trump directly. They are giving money to him so that yes, it is. They're buying his cryptocurrency.
I
That money
will-
goes straight to him.
No, it doesn't.
I will research that for
It
next
goes to
time.
a trust.
I don't know. I don't know where it goes.
It
First
does.
I've
It
heard
goes
of
straight
it.
to him. I just
can't-
told you his net worth
Okay.
doubled. That's his money.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's his trust.
Okay.
I will look it up. I'll research it.
Yes.
All right, let's move on. Our next topic is the least transparent part of the government. This week, the Trump administration escalated efforts to keep internal records of the Department of Government Efficiency, that's DOGE, secret from the public after a lower court ruled that DOGE had to release certain documents and allow for the deposition of Amy Gleason, the head administrator of DOGE. Solicitor General John Sauer filed an emergency appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court seeking to block that order. It was only in February that Elon Musk and Trump himself did their press conference from the Oval Office promising that DOGE would operate with, quote, maximum transparency, stating that all of DOGE's actions would be made public through its social media accounts and official website. Mom, why are they trying to stop people from finding out what DOGE is doing? I thought it was transparent.
I think they're going to spring it on all of us all at once. I think there's some really bad stuff going on.
In DOGE?
Yeah, bad stuff that they're finding out, like high-ranking officials have done, and they're waiting to spring it on all of us.
But they said that DOGE is supposed to be the most transparent office in the government. What is that noise? Is that you, Haley? Dogs going crazy?
Yeah, somebody
dog
just came to
doesn't-
the door.
Okay.
Her dog, look, she just stands there like, our dog
Mom-
doesn't bark.
Mom, why would they lie about being fully transparent?
Like I said, it will come out. They will let us see everything, but I think they're holding it all up until
Why?
they can gather it all together and then put it out there.
Trump doesn't hold anything back ever if he's got something to use to attack his enemies. Why
I
would he
don't
be
know.
doing
We
it
will
this time?
see. We will see. I
Dad,
don't
why,
know.
why do you think they're being secretive, Dad?
About what? They're not being secretive about
Are you
it.
watching Newsmax again, Dad, while we're doing the podcast?
No,
What are you watching?
Nothing.
I'm watching nothing.
Uh-huh. The whole thing that I read was, Haley, are the dogs calming down a little bit? This is mind-numbing.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell somebody to fucking get them.
The whole thing that I was reading, Dad, is a federal court ordered the release of some documents from DOGE to see how things are working in that department.
That's right.
One of Trump's lawyers then is trying to block that to keep the information secret.
Yeah, they're not ready.
It's because
you
they've
think
been
Trump-
cheating all of us.
Yes,
No, they
I mean,
haven't.
that's the real answer.
No,
They
they
don't
are-
want to show the fucking corruption that has been going on.
The only corruption
There
that
is
went on
corruption,
was Joe Biden and the Chinese.
and they're finding a bunch of it, and they're going to spring it on us all.
Okay.
No, they're not.
They already have.
Just like the Epstein files that they were going to expose and show everyone and never did.
Okay, you know what's happening there?
And all
This
the
is my
JFK
belief.
files and the UFO
This is my
files.
belief. Can I
Yeah.
say something about that Epstein thing?
Yep.
This is what I'm thinking. I think he was working for our government. I think they asked him to get these high-ranking officials in compromising positions with, things they shouldn't be doing. They took pictures of it all.
Mhm.
Then they would blackmail them to do different things they wanted for our government.
No.
I think that he was involved with our government. I really do.
Donald Trump was involved in the Epstein files.
No, from Donald Trump down was Obama years, all of them, Biden.
Donald Trump is in them.
It doesn't
Okay,
matter.
we'll see. We'll see. I
None of that
seriously
matters.
doubt it.
We all agree Jeffrey Epstein had an island where he was funneling hundreds of millions of dollars, having these crazy sex orgies with high-ranking people from all kinds of places, governments, rich people, whatever, where they
That's
were
what I'm
having sex
saying.
with kids. We all
He was-
agree on that, right?
He was working for our government.
Hang on. Dad, you agree
Hang
with
on.
that?
That's what I've read, yes.
Dad, do you agree with that?
Not necessarily.
You don't think he had a private island where they were having orgies?
Well,
with
I think he
children?
had a private island. I doubt if they had half the shit went on that they say did.
We don't know.
And
We don't know.
you do know there are people who have literally given their testimony.
Hmm.
Okay, so Dad, you're refuting the entire idea that there was any kind
No,
of
I didn't
inappropriate
say I
behavior
was
on the
refuting
island?
the entire idea.
Then
I
explain
will refute the idea that Trump ever went there.
Okay, but you do think that that island was full of criminal activity of the most heinous kind.
Yeah, and I
Yes.
think our government was behind it.
Okay, and you do acknowledge that Donald Trump said he was going to release all the files.
Yes,
Yes.
and he will.
They've
Okay.
released a little bit, but there was nothing in
They
that.
will.
They'll release
All right.
more. Now, can I get to one other statement?
Your beloved
Yeah.
Obama will be in the middle of it all.
The P. Diddy thing, that's happening. Now
He's a
in
pedophile.
court. Now he's in court, all that.
Yep.
There was a man that testified and Obama's name was brought up. And I have seen, I don't know if it's true. There was...
He's a homo pedophile.
There was like drugs dished down at all those parties, everything what the P. Diddy people, weirdos did. And there were drugs with the face of Obama on them. That's what I saw I don't know if it's true or not. That's what I saw.
Okay.
So he might be interlinked and all this stuff too.
Let's move on. We have one more topic. I want to try and squeeze it in here. It is the South African presidential visit. This week, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa visited the White House.
Let Chad talk. Go ahead.
Dad, can you refrain from interrupting me for
Yes.
This is about a
Go
minute.
for it. Yes, he is. Go.
Let's see if you can do it. This week, South African president.
I do it all the time.
Can't do it. I got 1 second into it and you interrupted. Not capable. This week, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa visited the White House for a diplomatic meeting with Trump. While Ramaphosa aimed to strengthen trade relations and address tariffs, Trump decided to pick a fight with him about unfounded claims of a white genocide occurring in South Africa. In an attempt to legitimize his lies, Trump presented a video alleging systematic killings of white South African farmers. However, the footage in the video was from the Democratic Republic of Congo, not South Africa. Ramaphosa refuted these claims, emphasizing that while crime is a serious issue in South Africa, it affects all communities and is not racially targeted. He highlighted that the majority of farm attack victims are actually black South Africans. Dad, do you think a white genocide is happening in South Africa?
100%.
Mom, do you?
Yes.
Based on what evidence?
Trump.
I just told you the video he
Based
showed
on a whole valley full of white Christian signs.
Signs?
Yeah,
The crosses. We saw the crosses.
whole valley of them.
Oh, I thought you meant like biblical signs, like end of the world, end time stuff. I was like, what the fuck?
What?
Now we're getting off.
The crosses, thousands of them.
Now, why Trump?
White farmers that have been murdered in South Africa has nothing to do with the Congo.
That's why I love Trump.
The guy that runs South Africa is a murderer.
But the video Donald Trump showed him in the White House had footage from the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Threw the glove down.
And the guy
Trump claimed that it was footage from South Africa, but it's not.
The guy was saying kill white farmers, kill white farmers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Trump's a genius. He was ready for him and he showed him. That's what I think.
Haley, do you think there's a white genocide happening in South Africa?
I do. No. On those farmers. Oh.
The news is just exhausting. I wake up and every day it's just a new fucking, like, look at this photo that has nothing to do with what's going on. White House official is like the most fucking horrific page on Instagram, on any social media site. It's like a fucking meme account. Is this real? Is it the fucking Onion? I have to ask myself, like, is this real? And it's their official fucking site.
All right. We went over this.
Every day is just disheartening. Ready to move.
I have one more question.
We went over this last week. What we watch, what we think, what's real, what's not. Yeah.
So it was worse with Pygmy.
Stop.
Let me ask you one final question about this. Trump did this to Zelensky too, where he invites somebody to the White House just to like make fun of them and shit talk them. Do you think, Dad, that it makes America look good to the rest of the world when Trump constantly does this to other foreign leaders?
Absolutely.
In what way?
They're afraid to come see him.
But is that a good thing? That other countries are afraid to even speak to the leader of our country?
Anytime other countries are afraid of the United States, it's a good thing.
But let me paint this picture for you. He keeps doing this to other world leaders. I'm painting the picture. He keeps doing this to other world leaders. I'm ignoring the picture. At a certain point, the rest of the world leaders are going to say, this guy fucking sucks.
Yeah.
what are we doing here?
No, they
And
are
then they
not.
all turn against America because they
Yeah.
hate Trump so much.
No,
No.
they're all afraid of America.
He's showing power. I love him. I don't think he was bad to Zelensky at all. I don't think he was bad to this guy from Africa at all.
You don't
When
hold
you- when
any
you're
of the
brought in-
cards.
When you're brought into the White House and you get your fucking face slapped, that doesn't make them love us. It makes them afraid of us.
We're a
Uh-huh.
joke around the world.
No,
America
we
is
are
a
not.
fucking disgrace.
You guys have no clue what we are around the world.
We are not a disgrace.
Because you're going to France for 2 weeks.
What?
I don't know.
What's going on over there, Dad? You all right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that wraps up our show. Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed our musical stylings in the middle of this one. I had fun doing it. Dad, I made a little internal bet with myself that you would not participate, and I was correct. There is no way to get you to enjoy things anymore. We got to get to the bottom of that at some point. But nonetheless, despite your refusal to participate in our fun time as a family, I do love you. We will get you participating in something. I'm going to come up with a simmer down at some point that's going to get you laughing. Mom, I love you, despite the fact that you don't necessarily love, that I don't love Memorial Day. I can see you with your flag there. Haley, I love you as well. It's good to have you back. I hope the trip was good.
Mom, I love you. Dad, I love you. Chad, I love you.
Nice. Very heartfelt.
Yeah.
Golly, I love you guys both. But
What do
we
you
are
want?
on
You want me to
different-
like give you a paragraph every episode now? I
Yes.
have to like three
Yes.
put-ups for everyone.
Yes,
We
I want you to
definitely-
think about it because
we-
look, ultimately this show, if nothing else, it's about trying to get us all to recognize that our relationship to Donald Trump or Joe Biden is not as important as our relationship to each other.
We are on different sides. We'll always be. I don't think there's no. You guys
Those
aren't
sides
coming our
don't
way. We're not
exist,
coming
Mom.
your way.
Those
But
sides don't
we are-
exist.
Neither one of you,
Okay.
Haley, would not move into a fucking
Okay.
apartment complex.
I love you both.
That's a fucking lie.
We're never gonna see each other's side in politics the same ever. I do know, and I love you all, but I do know we did pick up 3 more viewers. Shout out, oh Kitty! Shout out to Lynn, Lindsay, and Mickey. Because she texted me and asked for some clips and stuff.
Love
She said,
everybody.
keep the good fight up. Okay.
Love everybody, even the 2 communists.
Oh my God, please.
All right. Well, with that said, we will see you next week.